you why biodiesel is the best alternative resource.
Not only does it help the economy,
but it also benefits the environment.
Biodiesel is a cleaner burning renewable resource for petroleum diesel. This biofuel releases as much CO2 as absorbed, which is commonly called carbon neutralization. It provides safety benefits and increases energy security, as well as less destruction on air quality and the environment.
how does it work? Biodiesel is a replacement fuel for diesel engines, usually made out of animal fat or vegetable oil. One advantage of biodiesel is that it's not derived from fossil fuels but rather from local crops. It lowers greenhouse emissions as well as generating a domestic fuel economy. Biodiesel can be made from a variety of feedstocks. In order to make biodiesel, you must remove the impurities from the fat or oil in use. This changes the viscosity, which allows it to burn in a normal diesel engine without mocking up the fuel lines. This is through the chemical reaction called transesterification. It is simply a reaction of vegetable oil and an alcohol. A catalyst is usually used to speed up the reaction. First thing to do is combine a certain amount of alcohol and catalyst mixture with livestock. This requires heat and agitation for a short period of time. This process creates a layer of biodiesel and a layer of glycerin. The glycerin layer is then removed through a process of drainage, followed by a wash process to remove contaminants. In order to make sure livestock is suitable, it is filtered, pumped into a reactor, dried, and then tested for low contents of fatty acids. There is a need for low fatty acid content in fats or oils being used. With suitable feedstock in reactor, 80% of methanol is added carefully. This is extremely toxic and flammable. Then 80% of sodium methoxide is also added. This reaction mixture is then mixed for at least 1 hour at 55 to 60 degrees centigrade. The product is then let to sit for at least 2 hours. Glycerin is then drained. Rest of methanol is added, and again the mixture is agitated. We can then again see the glycerin has settled, which is then removed, and through a wash process the fuel is cleaned from excess methanol, catalyst, and other impurities. The biodiesel is dried and an antioxidant is added. This biodiesel mixture must meet the ASTM biodiesel standards. Once fuel has shown to meet standards, biocide is added to the fuel.
Net energy yields is the total amount of energy gained from harvesting the source after deducting the amount of energy that was spent in harvested. Biodiesel yields 93% more energy than the energy that was spent in its production. Energy efficiency basically means using less energy to perform the same task by reducing or eliminating the energy waste. B20 with 20% biodiesel content will have 1 to 2% less energy per gallon than petroleum diesel. But many B20 users report no noticeable difference in performance.
Blank construction of different sources. Hydro is around $25 billion, solar is around $20 billion, wind is around $15 billion, and biodiesel is around $11.3 million.
Biodiesel is decentralized due to the small-scale production. Decentralization is the moving of power from one central location to a farther away territory. This production is more suitable in increased territories, whereas centralization is more advisable in smaller areas. Decentralization uses little energy during production, and smaller energy plants don't require as many workers, which collectively decreases the price of biodiesel. A biorefinery is a network of facilities that integrates the biomass conversion process. It also holds all the equipment used to transport and produce all biofuels, power, and chemicals from biomass. Emmitsburg, Iowa is the top corn and soy producer in the U.S. Iowa uses plants and excess crop waste to replace the production of petroleum with biofuel.
This type of energy can be stored. It should be stored at a proper temperature as well in tanks that are made of aluminum or steel. The storage limit goes up to 6 months for the best performance.
Biodiesel lowers particulate matter, releases hydrocarbon emissions, and reduces smog. It also reduces greenhouse gases, improves the economy, and has positive impacts on the environment, such as being non-toxic and biodegradable. Natural ecosystems are replaced by biofuel feedstock plantations, collectively having a positive impact on growth and development of some soil microorganisms. Biofuels are made from mostly corn and soy on existing agricultural land. Therefore, there are no drastic impacts on land use. More examples of our biomass fuel is the food grown for the oil is replaced, decent amounts of waste are used in the production, and biodiesel stays usable for about 6 months and degrades up to 98% in about 3 weeks.
This process has great effects on the water. There is a need for a conversion to maize fields, which leads to soil erosion. This leads to runoff of excess nitrogen and phosphorus into groundwater. This contributes to higher pH levels in groundwater and waterways. This also contributes to eutrophication. Because of the excess nitrogen and phosphorus, algae is growing at a rapid rate, decreasing albedo and leading to temperatures rising.
Biodiesel combustion is non-toxic and is biodegradable. Compared to petroleum diesel fuel, which is refined from crude oil, biodiesel combustions produce fewer air pollutants. Studies have found that biodiesel air pollution is so much lower than traditional fossil fuels.
This biofuel reduces water waste and hazardous waste, unlike many other pollutant-forming fuels. This benefits aquatic life by improving water quality, and less hazardous waste is dumped into ecosystems, which benefits all wildlife. Some limitations to our product is when the oil is extracted and converted into fuel, the ability to produce power may vary, meaning not all crops carry the same amount of energy when the oil is processed. Biodiesel starts to gel in the colder weather depending on the oil that was used to produce it. A simple solution to help the fuel stay usable in the colder months is to blend it with a winterized diesel fuel.
The conversion to maize fields leads to loss of habitat. This will lead for invasive species of plants and animals being introduced to the biodiversity. This will increase competition for resources, therefore leading to a depletion of certain native populations.
The demand for vegetable and animal fat may increase based on the production or availability rate of the materials needed. For example, the price of corn may increase, leaving poorer citizens in other countries unable to afford it or having to switch to a new available crop for food. Lastly, as demand for crops and land increase, more fertilizer is used, which can cause harmful effects to humans and wildlife. Chemicals may be pushed into waterways, inflation of soil erosion may occur, or land pollution may arise.
Why should the United States pursue the energy source as the energy source of the future? Biodiesel reduces the use of fossil fuels. It's cheaper than other sources of energy. It's a renewable source. It's a domestic target. Supply reliability. Reduce atmospheric pollution. Improve the soil and water use. Biodegradability. Reduction of greenhouse gases. Cultivation development.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope you understand why we think our product biodiesel is the best option for a renewable resource to help save the earth.